Hi all, good morning. Welcome to this session. Greetings from Mercy Technologies. This is our second session in Core Java Master Course. In the previous session, we have seen that the brief introduction about Java and history of Java. What are the advantages we are getting? When we are going for Java, and we have seen how to download the necessary or required softwares for uh, Java development. We have seen like how to download the JDK and the Notepad++. And finally, we have seen that how to set the path environment variable. Why we need to set the path environment variable, and we have seen how to verify the JDK version to make sure whether the Java is installed successfully or not. For that purpose, I have requested you to go to the command prompt. You can press start button. You can open the command prompt. Once you go to the command prompt, you can type Java version, right? So you need to type Java version. So when you are hitting enter, you should see message something like this. It will list out the installed version. Here I would like to clarify one point. So in case if you have any other version also fine. Consider like you already installed a Java version, you don't need to install it again. But make sure the version is more than 8, right? The minimum Java version should be 8 because most of the other softwares like Eclipse or Spring Toolsuit or all other development related tools that supports minimum Java 8 version, right? So when you are seeing this message, OpenJDK version, the version number with the date, it is sure that the JDK is installed successfully. We are ready to go with the, Java development. We can start developing our applications. So what is our today's agenda? So as part of today's session, we are going to see our first Java program, right? How to develop, first Java program, how to save it, and how to compile the Java program, how we are going to run it. So we will be seeing our output, and the most important thing is what is happening in the background when we are compiling it. When we are compiling a Java program, what is happening in the background, and when we are running the Java program, what is happening in the background. These two are very important, right? So let's go ahead now. So yesterday we have seen like how to install the Notepad++ software, right? Notepad++, it is one of the editor. Either you can use Notepad or even Notepad++ also. Notepad++ will be little colorful and indent everything it will take care. So easy to develop. So I recommend you to use Notepad++. So just open Notepad++, go to Start menu, type Notepad++. When you are entering it, so you will be getting a window like this, right? So Notepad++ is opened. First thing what you do is just go to the menu bar here. There is a menu called languages, right? Go to that place. You will find J. J means Java. So this Notepad++ supports, developing different languages, right? Say for example, Perl, Python, PHP. It gives like, some of the benefits. So we are going to develop Java applications. So go for J, select Java. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we are going to develop our first program. Let me start it. This is the syntax: class name. Okay. First I will go with the higher level, then I will go very deeper one by one. Consider like we are going to develop our first program. I'm going to give I'm going to give the class name. my first Java program, right? This is my first Java program. You can give any name. The name should be meaningful, right? This is called class name, right? And I would request you to take the notes as well if possible, or else end of the class I will share you the notes, right? So we can give any class name, right? Class name should be meaningful, right? Instead of giving like class name as A, B, C, D or some other way, it's always recommended, the class name should be meaningful. Here we have given my first program. So it means the class name is meaningful. This is our first program. And third important point is class name should start with uppercase, right? Should start with uppercase, right? It means first character should be in uppercase. If you observe here, M is the uppercase. Suppose you are developing first program, then F should be uppercase. This is very important. Class name, first character should be uppercase. And when you are completing each word, again it should follow the uppercase. My is a separate word. First is a separate word. That's why I given, uppercase here. Program is a separate word, right? That's why I given P as uppercase, right? So the class name should be meaningful and it should start with the uppercase, and each new word, it should be started with uppercase. And you may ask why I need to follow these rules. You can give anything, even I can give A also, right? Nothing is wrong, you can give, but we are not following industry standard, right? This also will work. I can give like A1, 2, 3. This is also, it will work, but it is not a good way of naming convention. JDK developers. Who are JDK developers? The people who developed, Java, right? They have given set of instructions. How you need to name the class, how you need to name the variables, how you need to name the methods, right? That is called industry standard, right? That is called industry standards. JDK developers given set of instructions, right? When we are developing a program. So we need to follow all the instructions, right? That is called industry standard, right? It means people or Java developers, they should follow all the instructions which are provided by JDK developers. Again, like you may ask, why I need to follow? What is wrong if I don't follow? Nothing is wrong, but consider you are working in a real-time application, you are working in an organization. There, if someone says, hey, okay, this is the class, that's why he has given, M is a capital letter, started with uppercase, and he is following the industry standard. For other developers, it is easy to understand what you are going to do, like variable name. Variable name will be meaningful, method name will be meaningful. By looking the class itself, they can understand what you are going to do. So by looking the class itself, they will understand like why you need to develop that class. By looking the variable or method name itself, they will come to know that, why you need to, what is the purpose of that method, right? Suppose I'm, giving on method name, find interest. The method name is very simple. By looking the method name itself, we will come to know what is the purpose of that method. Okay, so and everything should go in the class, right? Everything should go inside the class. Class is a keyword followed by class name, open parenthesis and close parenthesis. Everything should go inside the class, right? So that's why we are telling Java is object oriented, because class is one of the concept in Java that we will see in the later point of time. But this is higher level. Everything should go inside the class. Inside class, you can define variables or methods, whatever, right? So in Java, mostly we will call it as methods. In C or C++, some people will be calling it as function, right? But in Java, function we should not use. That is not the good name. So usually JDK developers or Java developers, we call it as method, right? So here we are going to use one method called something like this: public static void main string arguments, right? This is a method. And one more thing, if you observe, I'm giving the indent, right? Open parenthesis and close parenthesis. What it means, after giving the parenthesis, you need to give one tab. This is good way of developing the Java application, so that you will come to know how many open parentheses, how many closing parentheses. Whenever you are opening a open parenthesis, finally you should close it, right? So number of open parentheses should be equal to number of closing parentheses. Java is highly sensitive. In case if I miss this open parentheses, I will get compile time error. Correct? I will get compile time error. Right? That's why I'm keeping like this. In case if you are not giving the tab, what is wrong? It's simple. You don't know how many open parentheses, how many closing parentheses are there. Here we are having only two. It's easy. Suppose you are having many methods, right? So you don't know like how many opened or how many closed. But in case if you give the indent, that is easy to understand, and the readability also will be there, right? The readability also will be there. Now inside the method, what I'm going to do, I'm going to print something. For printing purpose, we are going to use system.out.println, right? I can say welcome to Mercy Technologies, right? And all the statements should end with semicolon. This is very important, right? For printing purpose, we will use system.out.println. This is a statement, right? All the statements should end with semicolon. This is very important. Semicolon, right? You may ask, then why it is not ending a semicolon, right? No, this is a class declaration, right? So here we should not use semicolon. This is a method declaration, right? We should not use semicolon here, but all the things we should use semicolon, any statements. Now this is our first Java program. Okay, I will explain again. First we will go very high level, then little bit lower level, finally very deeper, right? So here what we have done, we have developed one simple Java program, our first Java program. So you are seeing something in this color, right? All these are keywords, right? Are reserved words, right? What is mean by keywords or reserved words? These words are reserved by JDK, right? Keywords are reserved by JDK, right? It means I cannot use these words as class name or variable name or method name. Here my first program is the class name. Main is the method name, right? You can say keywords are reserved words. Keywords cannot be used as class names, method names, or variable names. Keywords are reserved words and it cannot be used as class name or method name or variable name, right? It means we should not use that word at all for our purpose. Everything it is, belong to Java, right? It has its own meaning that we will see later. But for now, you can understand that this purple colored words are reserved words, right? And we are just printing. I don't want to go like how to, what is there, each and everything. First, we will see how to save this program, how to compile it, and how to run it. For saving it simple, you can just go to File and you can click Save. Then you will be getting one window here. So you can save anywhere, but it's better to create one directory and you can save it, right? I'm going into desktop. I'll create one directory called programs, right? Okay, I have created. And one more thing is, whatever the class name and you know, the file you are saving should be same, right? Copy this, select it, copy the class name. Again, go to File, Save. Already, I have created one directory, right? In desktop, I have created one directory called programs. Go inside, paste the class name here. Paste the class name here. My first program .java. You should store with extension as .java, right? It is good to store the class name as the file name, right? It means file name and class name should be the same for now. Later point of time we will see. And the file should save as .java extension, right? Should be saved as .java extension. This is very important. Then only this file will be identified as Java file, right? Just click save. Okay, I have saved the file. Now let's go to the desktop. Here if you see, we have created one directory called programs. Under that you are having my first program.java. Just open in edit notepad++. You can see our program is saved successfully, right? Now we are going to see something. Again, we will come back to the PPT in depth. Just we are seeing how to compile it. It's simple. First thing is go to the directory where your programs are saved, right? Inside this directory called programs, we are going to store all the programs, right? Now, what we are going to do is we are going to compile the program. Go to the address bar, click here, then you type CMD, right? I am typing the CMD here. What I am trying to do, it's simple. I am opening command prompt inside programs directory. This is one way, right? Or second way is you can just open command prompt manually. By default, it will be opened in some other directory. Under users directory, you need to navigate to this place. You need to navigate to desktop and programs, right? So what I have done, it's simple. Again, I will repeat. I will go to the programs where it is stored. Just click here, type CMD, hit enter. It will open one command prompt, right? Already we have seen Java-version. this is just like to make sure JDK is installed fine or not. Yes, it's already installed. Now we are going to compile it. How to compile it? It's very simple. You need to use javac filename.java. Suppose we have created program called my first program, right? So then you need to use javac file name or class name, right? Both are same. Javac class name dot java. The syntax should be like this. Let me compile using this javac class name dot java, right? Javac class name dot java. This is very important. This is for compiling purpose, right? Compiling purpose. Now observe one thing very carefully. Before I compile, how many files are there in my directory? Only one file is there called my first program.java. You can see the file type is Java, right? Only one file, right? We have only one file. The file type is Java file. So we will see what is happening when we are compiling it, right? I'm showing both the windows. Let me hit it. Observe little carefully. When I'm hitting it, this my first program getting compiled. Once compilation is success, you just see it has created one more file, my first program dot class, right? The type is a class file, right? So we did not create this file. Who has created this file? This is created by Java, right? What it done? Whenever we are using javac filename.java, right? So it compiled and it has generated one new file called same class name dot class file. This is called dot class file, right? Everyone could able to follow me. Now, this is what happening. What I'm going to do now, again, I'm going to delete this dot class file. Let me delete this dot class file. Again, you observe it. Again, we are going to compile it. Javac class name.java, my first program.java. Again, what it will do, it will create one more time. Just see. Yes, it has created one more time or not? Yes, it has created. In case without deleting, if I again compile it, it will overwrite, right? It will create the new file and it will delete the current file and it will create the newer one, right? You can observe by using the time difference, right? This is what happening in the background. Now, before going very in depth, what is going when we are compiling, I will give very high level. Now we seen like how to compile the Java program, right? How to compile the Java program? It's simple. For compiling, you need to use javac class name dot java. Class name I given in the bracket because it is a dynamic value, right? Anything. So what about running? For running, it is simple. For running, what you need to do? You need to give Java file name. So here Java, my first program, right? So for running, you need to give Java class name. We are good, right? Now let's run this program. What I have done, first I have compiled the program. It is done. Then second thing we are going to do, running the program. Java class name. What is the class name? My first program. It should not extend with, you should not give .java or .class file, right? Only it should be class name, right? Now let's run. Class not found exception. We will see why we are getting this. Why we are getting this one? Because the class name is given wrong, right? I have given double M, right? So I should give exact one. So the class name should be exactly only one single M. That's why the issue is. Again, I am running the program. You see the output. Welcome to Mercy Technologies. Wow, we have run our first program. So we could able to compile our Java program. We could able to run our first program successfully, right? So we could able to run our program. Just open the program again. Yes. So system.out.println, it is used to print. Whatever we are giving in double quotes, same thing we are giving in the this one. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to keep this is my first Java program, right? I'm going to print something like this. Now what is the steps I need to follow? Again from the beginning. First thing is I need to save it. Click file and save, right? Now every time I need to compile. Without compile, if I run it, I will get old output because old file only will be there, right? No, I should first I need to save it, then compile it. How to compile? It is simple. Java C class name dot Java, right? Compilation is success. It will create new dot class file. Now run the program. Java my program. See here, we are getting the recent output. This is my first program, right? It's very simple. So we have seen how to develop first program, how to save it, compile it, and run it. Now let's see little bit deeper. I would like to go deeper on everything. Whatever we have seen is higher level, right? Let's see very deeper what is going on here, right? So first thing is that as we seen, everything should go inside class. Class name should be there. Inside class only, all the things should go. Outside class, we cannot keep anything, right? That is the first point. Second thing is, inside this class, we have kept only one method. We have developed, right? Only one method. The method name is main, right? The method name is main, right? What this method is doing? This method is just printing some statement, right? Main method. Then you'll be asking, sir, why M is small? Yes, method name should start with small letter, right? I will give you these theory points, after the session. Just remind me, method name should start with a small letter and it should follow camel case. Follow camel case. What it means? It means, suppose I'm creating one more method, right? Say for example, public void, right? Test method, right? Or you can say find interest. Something like this. You observe here, method name is started with lowercase. Each and every new word, it should go for uppercase. How we have done class name, right? Same way. So each and everything, suppose like for students, again like something like this. Each and every new word should start with uppercase. That is called camel case. Camel will be starting low now. Head will be lower, then right. So like that. So method name should start with lowercase and it should follow the camel case. So main method is having only one statement. That statement, whatever we are keeping in double quotes, we need to get in the output. In case if you want to print something, keep it in the double quotes, right? Now what I do, I'm going to do some mistakes, right? Intentionally, I'm going to do some mistakes. So what I'm going to do, consider I'm going to remove this semicolon here, right? And I will remove the dot class file also, right? I'm deleting the dot class file. Delete the dot class file. Now we are having some compilation error. We did not keep semicolon here. What I need to do? Go to file, save it. Again I need to compile it, right? Again I need to compile it. Go to command prompt, type javac. See here, there is no dot class file here, right? I have deleted. Just compile it. You are getting compile time error. Listen very carefully. It says very clearly in my first program.java, line number 5, semicolon expected, right? Semicolon expected, right? And also it says where it is expected, end of the statement, right? End of the statement, semicolon is missing. Line number 5, just go again to program here, line number 5, right? It's clearly telling semicolon is missing, right? It is so user friendly, right? And also just observe the directory here. Dot class file is not created. Why dot class file is not created? Because there is a compilation error, right? So what it does is basically whenever you are compiling, Java compiler comes into picture. How you are compiling it? javac file name.java. You remember yesterday we have seen about this. Javac, what is Javac? Just go to the place where we have installed our Java, right? So where we have installed our Java? It's simple. Just go to the place. So we have installed under this softwares, right? There is a Zulu JDK, right? Go here inside bin. Still I can go deeper, right? There are many background things. Whenever you are compiling javac command, what is happening? It will check what is path environment variable. Javac, it will go to edit path environment variable, right? It will go here. Is there any Java home is there? Yes. Here it is there up to bin, right? So it will go here inside bin directory, right? Inside bin, it will check javac is there. Yes, javac is there. Then it will internally, it will invoke javac.exe file, right? This is a exe file. Javac.exe file, it will invoke. Then that comes into picture. That takes care of compiling the program, right? So what it does is, it will go to the my first program because you compiled javac class name dot java. My first program dot java. It will go here. It will check line by line, line by line. Is there any compilation error? No. Is number of open parentheses, is it equal to number of closing parentheses? Yes. Is it something wrong in this line? No. It will go line by line, line by line. Then it identified here we did not close it properly. We did not use semicolon, right? That's why it has given compilation error saying that, hey, you miss compilation. In case if you miss if any compilation error, then class file will not be created. Let's correct the compilation error. Put the semicolon, again save it, file, save, again quickly, recompile the program. Now you observe the directory again. Now compilation error got, corrected. Again compile it. Javac class name.java. Just observe. Now there is no compilation error. If there is no, it is not throwing any error. And you see here, dot class file is created. So what we are learning is, if there is no error only, if there is no compile time error only, dot class file will be created, right? Fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this one. Here if you observe, this is also not proper. Open parenthesis and close parenthesis is not proper. So what I'm going to do is simple. Again I save it. For understanding purpose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this dot class file, to show you that it will not create it, right? So I have deleted the dot class file, but don't delete dot java file. Dot java file is your source code. If you delete, you will lose your program, right? Again, you need to develop it. So save it, then go to command prompt, compile it again, right? See here, again it is throwing error. In line number 8, right, we are not using proper closing parenthesis, not used. Yes, go to line number 8. This is line number 8. It means like number of parentheses. It is thinking like this closing parenthesis is for main method, right? One more closing parenthesis is required. That is the rule behind it, right? So I'm just correcting the compile time error. Again, what is the point? Steps. I need to go here, save it, recompile it, right? Let's recompile again. See, compilation is success. If compilation is success, dot class file is created, right? Now, what we will do is, we will see, before going deeper in compilation, we will see these words one by one. What is meant by public, static, void, and main, and these arguments. So, again, I will go very higher level only because public is a separate topic. For teaching, this comes under access modifier. For teaching this completely very in depth, I need minimum 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. Static again is a separate topic. For teaching this, I need 3 to 4 hours completely. Void is a return type. So we will go very high level. Then each and every topic, when we are seeing in our future session, we will go very deeper, right? So what is public first? We see here, this is our hello world program, right? So everything goes inside class, right? Class consists both variables and methods. This also we have seen already. So this is our method, right? Public, static, void, main. So what is meant by public here? Public means this is a method, right? Main is a method name. So this method is a public method. It means anyone can access it. If it is a public method, right? Even another class also can access this main method. Another class also can access this main method. That is the meaning of public. Public is a access modifier, right? For now, you can understand this main method is a public method. It is not private or protected or default, right? This is just public. It means public means wider access level. Any method or any class can access this method, right? So that's all one line description about public, right? So more deeper, we will see in a separate topic called access modifiers. What is static? Second word. In this method, second word is static. It means static means this name of the main method is main method. This main method belongs to class. This main method belongs to class, and it is not belongs to, it does not belongs to instance, right? Again, you'll be having questions, sir, what is meant by instance? What is meant by class? No need to go very deeper for now. What is the class? Class name is my first program. This is our class. Consider you are changing into employee class, right? What it means now? The main method belongs to employee class, right? But it is not belongs to object or instance. That we will see very deeper. And trust me, we will see this in another 4 to 5 class. Static is a very big topic. At least we need 3 to 4 hours for explaining. That time I will go very deeper. For now, you can understand that static method, this method, main method is a static method because we used keyword called static, right? And it is belongs to class. In case if I remove this static, it will not work. Just remove it. You can experiment whatever you want. Play around it, then only you will be very comfortable in coding. So just remove it. Again, if you need, you can delete the class file. You can just recompile it. Just see. Compilation is success. Just run it. Java class name, right? You can experiment. You will get some error here when you are running it. It says clearly main method is not static. So the signature should be same. We should not modify anything. It should be like public static void main. The signature should be same. This is called signature. This should be exactly same. You should not modify anything. Because when we are running, it is expecting searching a method which is having like public static void and main. Even method name also should be same, right? So for now, what we are seeing that static means it belongs to class. And this main method does not return any statement. We are not seeing any return statement here. Usually method can return anything, right? Return 0, return some string, anything. But here there is no return statement. If there is no return statement, then we should mention that return type is a void, right? So that is the next point. This method, main method, does not return anything, right? And finally, main is a method's name of the method, right? And what is this method? This method is taking only one argument, right? Method can take any argument, right? So even in the thing we have seen like some method, right? If in case if you want public, static, right? Suppose even I can define void my method, right? My method. Consider this method it wants to. This method is not taking any arguments, right? Any arguments. This is also fine. Suppose I am declaring one more method. My method 1. This method can take single argument int x. This is also possible, right? But our main method is taking only one argument. That argument is a string array, right? Data type is a string. Here data type is a integer, right? Int type. So we are given this brackets, open bracket and close bracket. It means it is a array. So the main method should take only one argument, that is a string array argument, right? This is the name of the reference variable. We will see very deeper in the future sessions, right? So again, I'll make it simple. Again, we will see very quickly. This method is having public. Public means it is a public method. It can be accessed by anyone. It is a static. It means it belongs to class. And this method is not returning any type. That's why void mentioned here. Name of the method is main method. And it is taking only one argument. That is called, string array, right? I said that in case if a method is not returning anything, then we need to mention return type as void. In case if a method returning int type, then I should mention the return type is int. That's why I said very clearly, we will see this later. I don't want to go very deeper now, right? Just for now, understand void means it will not return anything. Yeah, one more question is like square bracket either you can keep anywhere, that we will see when we are going with arrays. Again, it is a array topic. Array is a very bigger topic, you guys know it, right? So we will go very deeper when we are covering arrays. Square bracket either you can keep here or even you can keep it here also. Anything is fine, it will work, right? If you want, you can compile and run it. You can keep anything, and name also you can keep anything, because it is a reference name, right? Variable name or reference name, right? You can keep anything. This also will work fine. Okay. So you no need to worry. Now we will see what is happening, when we are compiling the program. It's already we have seen that, right? Again, what I am going to do is I'm going to remove this dot class file, right? Again, we need to compile it. We will see what is happening when we are compiling the application. When we are compiling the application, this is our source code, right? Source code means SRC. It means programming level code. This is called our source code, right? So when we are compiling, compiler comes into picture. We have seen that Java C is used for compilation purpose, right? So Java C comes into picture. What is Java C compiler? This is called compiler, right? Java C is a compiler. It's a command. It is used by compiler. So what compiler does? So compiler, what it does is when we are compiling it, it is taking source file, right? Source file is nothing but my first program.java. So compiler, what it does, it goes and checks the .java file line by line, any syntax error, step by step, line by line. If there is any error, then what it does is it will throw the compile time error with message. Again, what we need to do, we need to come back, we need to correct the compile error. Again, we need to recompile it one more time. Once compilation is success, it is creating dot class file. We have seen that, right? We have seen that clearly. Once compilation is success, it will create the dot class file. Again, let me compile it. See here, compilation is success. It has created dot class file. See here, let me open this dot class file. Right click, open with Notepad++. See here, can you able to understand this one? This is compiled code. This is called bytecode, right? This we cannot understand, right? Compiler, what it has done? It has taken our source code using Java C. Compiler, what it done? It started compiling it. There is no error, so it has created one dot class file. This is the content of dot class file, right? This is the content of dot class file. So once it created dot class file, this is called bytecode, right? This is called bytecode. This is called bytecode, right? This is what happening when we are compiling it. So when we are compiling, compiler comes into picture, right? When we are compiling, compiler comes into picture. It verifies all the syntax line by line. If there is any compilation error, it throws compilation error. We need to correct it. Again, we need to recompile it. If there is no compilation errors, then what happens is, it creates bytecode file called dot class file, right? Same name as the .java file. So once we compile, what we are doing? We are running our program. How we are running? Java, my first program, right? So what is happening in the background? We are getting our output. But what is happening? What is happening when we are running? So when we are running, JVM comes into picture, right? When we are running, JVM comes into picture. What is JVM? For now, you can understand it is a Java virtual machine, right? So it is an environment, or it is thing like which is mainly used for when the class is loading and all. So I don't want to go very deeper. We will see very deeper in our future sessions, but JVM is used for it comes into picture when we are running our application, right? So what it does is it takes our dot class file, right? It will load our class into memory, right? Java has its own memory, right? So it loads this bytecode. I can call this as a dot class file or bytecode. This bytecode cannot able to understand by humans, right? For everything, it will create new bytecodes, right? So it takes this bytecodes dot class file and it starts running the application, right? Now, again, go back to the slide. So when we are running, JVM comes into picture, right? So JVM starts executing from main method, right? It checks, is there a method called main method? The signature should be same as public static void main, and it should have string array argument, right? And it starts executing from the beginning, right? This is what happening in the background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more class. Okay, one more class I'm going to create it. So let me go it. First thing is I'm going with file, new, then go to language, select Java, right? Now class name, my second program, right? You can give any name. I'm just giving my second program. Give indent. This is the class, right? Public static void main, string argument, same signature. This is the class. I'm just printing again system.out.println. Welcome again. I want to print one more line. Again use system.out.println, right? Printing one more time. Whatever you are giving in double quotes, you will get it. What you will do? Just click save. Again, what you need to do? Copy the class name and save the same name as the class name. Save. You should save with .java extension, right? Just open the place where it got saved. Yes. Now if you observe, we have, right? We have two files. Let me delete this .class file. My second program.java, right? Compile this Java program, Java C, my second Java program. Is there any compilation error? No, there is no compilation error. Again, it has created my second program dot class. Just open. It is a bytecode again, right? No need to worry about the bytecode. Now how to run it? Simple. Java, my second program, right? Run it. See, you are getting two lines. Welcome again, printing one more time. Yes, because we are printing twice. So this is very, basic explanation of about our first and second Java programs.